morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to be having a little bit of a gander at how Gholdengo has finally become, well, I think the best version of itself, and it now plays every kind of basic energy. Yeah, we need to have a chat about this one now, don't we? Now, of course, over in the EU, we've been getting quite familiar with Gholdengo for a while because we've got a Dutch player, Jelle, who, well, they've had some pretty big finishes, especially in Dortmund 2 years in a row, strangely, with Gholdengo. So we know Gholdengo has a lot of potential, but with the release of Surging Sparks, or Super Electric Breaker as it was over in Japan, Gholdengo has kind of ascended to become a much better version of the deck that it was previously. Now, Gholdengo has always had a huge amount of potential. The ability Coin Bonus says that once during your turn you can draw a card, but if it's in the active spot you can instead draw 2 cards, which is great. We've then got the attack Make It Rain, single metal energy, discard as many basic energy cards from your hand as you like, and you deal 50 damage for each card that you discarded in this way. So you get a bunch of energy in your hand, you discard all of that energy, and you have the ability here to very literally get a one-hit KO on absolutely anything. Awesome. So what's changed with Surging Sparks to make this a real top contender nowadays? Because if we have a quick look at the metagame, here is it in pie chart form. You'll see that Gholdengo is 4.2% of the meta. It's below a bunch of other decks, admittedly, but you're talking about a number 8 deck in what has been a pretty wide open metagame so far. And it's ahead of things like Archaladon, which, hyped to be quite good, and Ceruledge and all of that. In fact, it's ahead of any new deck from Surging Sparks. Although, Ancient Box has had a big resurgence because of the new Koraidon and all of that. If you would rather have it in tier list form, Pokécard Book has also given us that, showing it at the bottom of A tier, tier 2. So, right there with things like Lugia and Ancient Box and Gardevoir and Dragapult as a real proper job contender. So what's the big difference? Energy Search Pro. Energy Search Pro has made a huge difference here because it says it's an A-spec, obviously, it's an item card, and it lets you search your deck for any number of basic energy cards of different types, and then you reveal them and put them in your hand and shuffle your deck. The thing is, if we're playing Gholdengo here, and that's what we're talking about, that's 8. That is 8 energy cards. That is absurd. Bearing in mind you're doing 50 damage for each one that you have discarded, and okay, fine, even if you search Metal Energy with Gholdengo, this will get you 7. 7 is 350 damage, that is a one-hit KO on anything that we've got in the game right now, and of course, a lot of the time you won't need all of that, so it's kind of 250 damage, plus a couple of energy hanging over for your next KO. And that was always what was missing with Gholdengo. Essentially 2 potential problems this is solving. Number 1, there's a giant Charizard in the active. I need 7 energy discarded this turn, and if I get the 7 energy, I get a one-hit KO on this big Pokemon. They don't have a backup attacker. I'm in a great position, because they are not yet one-hit KOing me. But if I whiff this, then I'm in huge problems, because now I am getting KO'd and they've got another turn to set up and all of that. And then also just stringing together big KOs turn after turn. And this helps out with both of them. Make no mistake about it, I've been looking at a lot of lists coming out of Japan over the past couple of weeks since Super Electric Breaker, what is Surging Sparks for us, became legal. And it's incredibly clear we're playing Energy Search Pro. Like, it's not a case of this is the best A-spec, but there are some others you might want to play instead. No. It is a case of Gholdengo was a decent little fringe deck. Especially proper top-tier players who were really practiced with it could end up doing quite well. But it wasn't a proper contender for the vast majority of people. Like I say, we had like 1 player in Europe proving everybody wrong. Now it has become a proper job legit contender, And the only real new card we're looking at here, the only real change we're looking at from previous lists in terms of adding in new stuff, it's Energy Search Pro. And that one card has made all of the difference. And don't get me wrong, we're still playing Superior Energy Retrieval, which will go and get 4 energy from the discard pile. But the thing is, Superior Energy Retrieval, it sounds like a lot, right? You go and get 4 energy from the discard, you can now go and hit 200 damage, which sounds great. Except actually 200 damage isn't even enough to get like basic EXs and basic Pokemon V. You need more energy in addition to that. So now all of a sudden you're trying to get a several card combo rolling in order to take these bigger KOs. And Energy Search Pro is basically like, look, you have one, okay? You can have one. One big KO or potentially enough energy to get this KO and then get the next one, or at least have a nice little head start towards the next one. And that is the big difference here. It feels like one card and one ace bet, which could be prized and will be approximately 1 in every 10 games, could end up not quite being enough, but the data is there, frankly. Gholdengo is legit, and this is the big change. Now, there are a couple of other things we need to mention here. We're still generally playing it with kind of a 1-1 Palkia line here. And partly this just gives us a decent attacker. One of the nice things about Palkia is you get the water energy on, and the nice thing is that with your V-Star power, and there's no other V-Star power, so we don't mind using it on this. With your V-Star power, you can get the energy on here in one go without using your attachment for the turn, and then you're just hitting decent damage with Subspace Swell. Especially against single prizes who aren't one-hit KOing you, this becomes just a really nice attacker. But then we also play Radiant Greninja, and of course Radiant Greninja is just good for drawing with concealed cards, but also Moonlight Shuriken, 2 water, 1 other energy, discard 2, and deal 90 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. But of course, you've got your Star Portal on your Palkia here, which will get that energy on and allow you to throw it around, and that's awesome. And then we actually play a full 4 copies of Irida here, because Irida becomes amazing. Because you go and search for a water Pokemon and an item card. Well, water Pokemon, between your Palkia and your Radiant Greninja, you've always got something you're going to want to go for here. And then you also get to go and get an item card, and of course, you're going to want Energy Search Pro, not turn 1, but potentially turn 2, basically the first time your opponent gets a big Pokemon in the active, or they're not going to get a giant Pokemon, but you really want to be stringing 2 or 3 KOs together. At that point in the game, you need to have your Energy Search Pro ready to go. So this helps massively. Because of this, we're also playing 1 Iron Bundle, because again, we're playing Irida, it makes it really easy to search out. It makes your opponent switch their active. I don't think Iron Bundle is absolutely essential. I think it's a really fun, nice tool that's going to help beautifully. But I don't think it's something that's absolutely like full-on essential. But I think it is a really nice extra tool with everything else you've got going on, especially since you're playing Irida anyway. And then we do have, and this time I'm showing you here, Blazer, but I've seen it from a few others as well, a Thin Dusknoir line, often like 101 with a single rare candy is sometimes as much as we need here, combined with your Monkey Dory. And this is actually really nice, because one of the things that's really annoying about Gholdengo is always having to get all the energy, and like coming up against a 210 HP Pokemon, and then all of a sudden you've got to discard 5 energy, because if you discard 4 it's 200 and it's not enough. Well, here we kind of mash them together. What you can do is just do a big hit, drop 13 damage counters with Dusknoir, and then only need like 2 or 3 energy to get a big KO with Gholdengo, which is good. And of course, that can be combined with Energy Search Pro, so, use 3 of the 8 energy, and then you've got 5 left over for next turn, for instance. Or you can use it to damage 1 Pokemon, but then combine that with Monkey Dory, where you're then, you leave like 110 damage on 1 Pokemon and like 20 on another, but then both of those Pokemon are brought down to a multiple of 50, so you don't need to go nuts discarding energy to actually go and get their big KOs, and that's what I love here. Here is the list as a whole, and if you have a look at the energy line, this is very predictable. You're playing free metal energy, because you need that to actually attack with Gholdengo, but again, you're playing 4 superior energy retrieval and a regular energy retrieval. You will, and also 2 Night Stretcher as well, you will be able to get that energy back, you'll be fine. And you're playing free water energy, because you need that for Palkia's Star Portal, and then all the rest are singles. Yes, you will find that in quite a lot of games you'll have like 1 random energy prize. So I keep saying Energy Search Pro for 8 energy. That's the ideal. A lot of the time it's realistically going to be 6 or 7. But that's still going to mean you're going to be able to stretch to those big KOs more easily. You're going to be able to stream these KOs more easily. And essentially it's just that game you lost because you only could get 6 energy and you needed 7. And that other game you lost because you were 1 energy away because you used too much the last 2 turns and you just couldn't search them out. Those losses turn into wins now. Gholdengo is legit and I love it. So there we go. Gholdengo plays every kind of energy, and I'm telling you right now, if they brought fairy energy back, Gholdengo would play that too. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you're buying it as a contender or whether you still think it's not going to work. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.